Why waste your time dating somebody who is not going to elevate your life? And
not even just that. But here's the thing. I don't want to stress you out by trying to keep up with my lifestyle that I already have and am accustomed to. Why? Because if I'm going to these restaurants just for lunch meetings and it takes you your whole check to take me there, I don't want to stress you out. You cannot hang with me. You are still wanting a vacation for the weekend. I vacation and go on holiday for the month. We are not going to be able to make this work. I'm not trying to be with anyone that I have to be a teacher. You know, life is spanking us right now. Life is our teacher. Can I live in a house where I'm always teaching you as well? That's too much. That's too heavy. I don't want that. I'm gonna teach you some things, you know, on an everyday basis, but not where, you know, the life lessons you were supposed to have and stored up on me, because I'm damn sure gonna give them to you. I'm world traveled. I'm well cultured. I'm talented. I'm successful. I'm domesticated. I'm family. You get all these things. Don't you know that I have a list as well? You need to have your list. Do I check the boxes that you need in a woman? Do you check the boxes for me? And one of them has to be accomplished, successful, powerful, and rich.
Lisa Ray came a long way from Players Club. Come on, somebody. Hey, Truth Tellers, it's your nephew, Willie Moore Jr., and that viral clip, y'all know, is setting the internet literally on fire. It's about high-functioning women, and today we have two titans here to discuss it. You've seen them both on Cam Newton's podcast and all over the internet about top-tier women and low-functioning men and high-value men, y'all seen them all over the internet. They super viral. So now we're about to go 10 rounds. All about this. And today we have a really special guest. She goes by the name of Dr. Sarah Fontenot. I'm so excited that she's here. It's about to get real, it's about to get truthful, and it's about to get heated right here on Truth Talks. Flat out.
And welcome to our show, Truth Tellers. I'm your host, Ryan Cameron, and joining me is my usual lying-ass crew with a special lying-ass guest.
Whatever, Ryan.
Okay, I'm just playing. All right, look, so you know we're all about tough truths, and we got my man, Willie Moore Jr.
Hey, I'm Willie Moore Jr., the voice of faith, fun, frustration, and as of yesterday, I'm getting over selfishness.
And Dr. Viral, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
What's up, Doc Squad? Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite doc, Dr. Bryant, and I'm just waiting to disagree with any, mini, money, probably Willie Mo.
And today, filling in for Bree Renee, straight from the A, is Dr. Sarah Fontenot. You may have seen her recently trending on her podcast, Is Giving. So what's up, Sarah?
What's up? I'm so happy to be here. I know I got some Titans in the room. It's about to get heated. Let's get it.
All right, so we got a lot to cover with this high-functioning battle of the Titans. But before we get started, we have just got to say, we want to say rest in peace to the acclaimed poet and activist Nikki Giovanni. She passed away at the age of 81. Now, let's get into some trending truths. So what you got, Sarah?
Oh man, Candace Owens is known for having some problematic takes, and this time around, she's coming for hip hop. She made some intriguing points about the current state of black music and how it's changed for the worst. Nick Cannon interviewed Owens on his podcast, and she talked about black music and how it's changed from Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston to Sexy Red. Now, there are some mixed reviews in the comments about this. Does Candace Owens bring up a valid point? Is the state of black music in trouble?
Yes, it is totally in trouble. Let me say this, but shout out to Sexy Red, you from St. Louis. You know I rock with you. But you know, when you think about music, I always tell people music is the soundtrack of life. Yes. So you got to be very careful with what you put on your soundtrack. But we can go back to slavery days. That's the way that we used to get messages so we could get free. I think about James Brown when he said, "Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud." Like literally, he compromised his entire fan base. White people decided, some of them said, I don't want to be a part of this anymore, but he really understood how important it was for him to give a message to African American people to be proud about who they are.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't understand what message we giving to this next generation.
Yeah, I don't think that music black music is dead. I think it has definitely changed. I think it has changed to fit the curriculum and the trend and the culture of what the black youth are doing now. I think that there's less parental control involved. And so what happens is you have these youth who have exposure to everything, music being one of them, and music is just fitting that trend so that they can sell records. But it's in alignment with the culture that's very lost, a culture that has no boundaries, and a culture that's in a place of low functionality because they are listening to things and in alignment with things that are just don't have value. And I'm not saying that the kids, they don't have value. Their value system to me is screwed up. And that's what connects to the modern day music. That's where the change comes in from.
Well, I mean, I know that James Brown may have said, you know, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, but Uncle Luke said face down. And we survived all that. I mean, I think, you know, the thing that we need to talk about is the fact that the music is for the generation who is not. It's almost like when they would say, I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill and then other things. We got through all that. It's just what's going on right now. Yeah. I mean, Sexy Red, nobody's caring about what she's saying. It's fine. Do what you want to do because we came through NWA. We had the attitude. We came through Public Enemy. We had the fight the power. And here we are with Let Her Cook.
I hear what all of y'all are saying, but I have to disagree because I think the issue with music in this day and age is not only are they hearing certain words, but they're seeing certain things. And so now the fashion and the way that we show up in the world, I don't want to see booty cheeks in the grocery store. I don't want to see your booty cheeks or your midriff when I'm in Target. I don't want little boys to be looking up and already being sexualizing women because they don't know any better because that's just how they're wired. So I hear y'all, and I feel like we got to call a spade a spade. I'm so sick and tired of it being like, oh, but the beat is hot. Yeah, the beat is hot, but your spirit's not. It messes with you on a fundamental spiritual level when you're listening to certain things. I agree with you, Willie.
Well, Sarah, you shouldn't go to Fontenot. You should not go to Target. You should not go to the airport. You should not go to McDonald's because they wearing fuzzy flops and bonnets in all them places.
That's the problem. We got to change the narrative. If I see one more bonnet in the airport, I'm going to scream, I tell you.
It depends on what she looked like under that bonnet. If she got eyelashes on, keep your bonnet, boo. But you know, I got to shout out to my brother for real. I actually had the opportunity to watch this clip. He sat down with my dear brother Rubenstein, I believe. And so for real, he was telling everybody that he's a proud, strict dad, right? A proud, strict dad. And he teaches his kids about guided struggles. He opened up on Rick Rubin's podcast about what he does during the holidays with his children. I want you to take a look at this clip.
I'm strict about it. I don't play. I'm a strict dad. Yep. But because the world is harsh.
Yeah.
You know, I think when parents say things like, oh, I never want my kids to struggle the way that I did. Well, you have to understand the way your struggle produced you being a hardworking, critical thinking individual. And when you don't allow your kids to have guided struggle, they don't develop the coping skills. They don't have the courage. They can't deal with challenges.
Definitely.
And it oftentimes doesn't end so well.
Wow.
And this is, hold on.
Shout out to Pharrell. You know, the world may be harsh, but do you think Pharrell is being too strict with his kids, or should more parents take their kids and give them guided struggles? What are your thoughts, Dr. B?
Listen, gentle parenting breeds gentle kids to a very tarnished, hard world. I think that the reason why most of us on this, I don't know how you were raised, Sarah, I know us up here were raised from a very disciplinary angle. And for me, because I was disciplined with words and with spankings and whoopings, and I wasn't into gentle parenting, I now have a backbone on vertical to where nothing breaks me. I stand very solid on my square, very vertical in who I am. And again, when you raise kids with the gentle parenting, they become gentle. This is why we have the biggest epidemic of kids who are depressed, who are suffering from anxiety, kids who can't handle a regular conversation of criticism. That's bullying to them nowadays. And so back in our day, bullying was a real intense terror, and it was traumatic. And I'm not negating anyone's experience, but again, when you are at home making sure that your child is chastised by you, when the world does it, they have an adverse place to pull from. But when you are being so gentle that when they go out there, it creates a narcissist child who doesn't understand the world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah, what I see a lot of times is, and going out to talking to kids and talking to parents, I see these helicopter moms, right? They have raised their man babies to become their man at the house. And I will ask them a question, and how old are you? He 5. Where you go to school? He go to, I'm saying, when is he going to be able to talk? Because one of these days, you're not going to be in the room with him, and he is going to fail miserably. But to Pharrell's point, I think a lot of times, we as parents who have now become the one, we are the most successful in our family, and we don't want what happened to us to happen to them. And that's a very slippery slope, because a lot of times I will see my kids about to go down the rabbit hole of hell, and I'll be wanting to come in and save them, but I just have to let it go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I feel like we grow through our experiences and our struggles, and they ultimately just make us stronger. And speaking of getting stronger in experiences, can we please talk about how Walmart cannot seem to get it right? Okay, their new Christmas commercial is inspired by the 1997 film Love Jones, starring Nia Long and Lorenz Tate. But the nostalgic commercial is stirring up controversy amongst fans. Some people are happy to see the reunion between the stars and glad to see them reprise their roles. Other fans are angry with Walmart for dropping DEI from corporate initiatives and then releasing a commercial about a classic black film to win the black community back. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does Walmart owe the black community an apology? Should the black people boycott Walmart? Like, what are we talking about?
You know, I'll say this. 2016, I think Walmart, they let go of like 154 stores across the country. The problem with boycotting Walmart is that, of course, we live in bigger cities. And shout out to my people who are watching in smaller cities. This is the primary grocery store, because they've literally, the strategy was for the next 20 years, take over food deserts. The heart posture was correct, right? So they were able to do that. Walmart has become a permanent fixture. So as much as we want to boycott, they're in a position of power to do whatever they want to do, because people can't actually go anywhere but Walmart to get their food in certain areas. So it's kind of tough.
So shout out to Blue Ivy, because last night she attended the premiere of Disney Mufasa, The Lion King, and everybody was wondering, is Jay-Z going to come? What's going to happen? Well, Jay-Z stepped out with the entire family after defending himself against, quote, heinous allegations, and he looked unbothered and proud of his baby girl. Blue Ivy, the Lioness Club, Kiara, where Beyonce is the voice of Lioness Nala. The film hits theaters on December 20th. So the question is, do you think it's awkward to see Jay-Z out and about after hearing about the lawsuit that he is facing?
Absolutely not. This is his daughter. I don't care what he's facing. They're all allegedly, and even if he ends up becoming criminalized for them, this is his daughter, this is his baby. And let me go a little further. Let's just say he knows he did do it. Then you would think he want to be at every red carpet as much as he can before he gets into that
courtroom. Trying to control the narrative?
And no, I'm saying if he knows he's going down, he needs to be supporting her in any way he can at everything she has.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's really, really good feat. I believe that is good, but for me, I think I would probably try my best to protect my children to get away from that negative light if I was, and just be very, very cautious. Here's the thing that I do respect about Jay-Z. At the end of the day, I think that his support, in my opinion, it showed that, hey man, no matter what's going on, I'm gonna show up. And he showed me that I don't give a damn about nothing. Now, my 83-year-old mama, she called me, but when it make it to 83, she said, you heard what happened today, Jay-Z, don't it? I said, Lord, it done made it all up to St. Louis.
Lord.
If it make to 83, I said, Lord, have mercy. My bigger question is what the NFL is gonna do now, because they don't like that type of heat. They don't like that type of heat.
Well, you see, 50 Cent said, all I want to know, I don't know what's going on, but are we still going to have the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, Jay-Z was in his typical Savage Terriers mode, because, you know, as a Savage Terriers, you know, what he should have did was fall back and let Blue Ivy have her moment with her mama, who is unproblematic, and nobody ever says anything bad about Beyonce, because she keep on charging y'all money for concerts and shoes and water and cologne, and everything is good. But he's a Savage Terriers, so he's like, the hell with y'all people. I'm finna show up and show out.
Well, do you think she was more excited to have both of her parents there, or do you feel like, but also do you feel like the backlash of him showing up stirs up more of this conversation about did he do it?
But I think as a child, your parent is your parent.
Yeah.
So you want their support. A child's not looking at their parent like you're a criminal. A child is saying, that's my father, that's my mother.
But what about the child's friends?
So yes, you want the support.
The child's friends who are looking at her like, oh, because her friends are not old enough to know.
Well, he talked about that in his answer to, you know, the lawsuit. I think what was really apparent last night was the fact that they have this wall around her, because one thing you did not see on any blogs today was anybody asking her any questions.
But
they was not, but I'm saying they were not going, because somebody is going to be out there for clickbait and clout chasing, like, so what you think was going on with your dad? And then you got a whole nother problem.
But Rye, she's a child. That's called parenting. Don't ask my child anything on a red carpet. carpet if she's under 18. And when she gets to 20, you better run it by me too. No, don't ask my child
But
nothing
it is
about,
Jay-Z and
no.
Beyonce, so you know that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't run that
They
play
don't
by
play.
our child. That's parenting.
Yeah. So up next, are black folks boycotting LA's famous Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles for feeding MAGA people? You don't want to miss it when we come back on Truth Talks.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
And welcome back to our show. So much is going on out in these streets. Now, here's the question. Are the new owners of Roscoe Chicken and Waffles baiting MAGA supporters for business?
Now, in late November, IG account Epicurious Expedition posted a video of a huge inflatable Donald Trump down in front of the Long Beach Roscoe's. Probably couldn't do that on the Sunset one, but chicken and waffle location, and the social media users called for a big boycott against the restaurant.
Oh my God, is one of the Southern California's longest running soul food restaurants. It has become a regular stop for celebrities and politicians and is a bona fide icon in LA's black community. The COO, Diana Vare, claimed the Donald Trump inflatable was not affiliated with Roscoe's, but set up for the business next door.
Okay.
Vare also added, boycott if you want, but business is up 20%, and tagged at heart emoji to Donald Trump. Should black people boycott Roscoe's, which has been serving the community for 50 years over its alleged support for Trump? Or is this really nothing to talk about?
Hey.
This is my thing. I don't think that the CEO should have added Trump and put a heart emoji. That's going too far, okay? Bruh, sis, that's too far. However, every other community, especially the white community, always monetizes off of our black butts because we are the biggest consumers. So if the neighbor puts up a big white Trump or a big white horse or whatever, and we monetize off of it, monetize off their butts like they do with us. I don't think the tagging was that serious, but I do believe, look, if you're going to do it, neighbor, and we get the business, by all means, because if it was the other way around, they going to make sure they monetize. They're going to take DEI away and still monetize off of
Dr. Z, did you see the inflatable though?
Yeah.
It was like 12 feet. Like, it's
That was
bigger than any
crazy.
Christmas tree I ever seen in my life. I'm gonna be honest with you. But it goes back to the morals of the community. Like, you gotta know where you are. Like in Long Beach, like being from California, you know what that community is like.
Yeah.
So you just gotta be very, very conscious. So if it's all about the money, the question becomes, is that them being selfish for only focusing on the dollar and not thinking about the community?
Are you trying to say, am I being selfish with
Yeah,
my
because you know
mindset?
you
Then just
selfish
say
too.
it then. Just say it, Willie.
But no, honestly, that was a huge. I seen that online and I was like, yo, that is a big Trump honestly, I just think it's too soon.
And I want to know who put the Trump there. I mean, who was it?
Y'all got to knock it off, man.
He's the president.
Y'all got to knock it off. On every damn corner right now, there's a title pawn. There is a vape shop. There's a liquor store. There's a buy here, pay here, 28% interest on a car note because black people don't have credit. So what's the biggest difference between chicken and waffles and the scourge of the earth of how people been coming into our community, taking our dollars out and going on about their business, giving it back to their community? What's the biggest difference?
Come on. So if you drop the white man off to the next to my business and I run up 20%, I'm going to say thank you. I'm not going to tag you, big dog, but I'm going to say thank you. Business is business.
You know what, though? I kind of understand the tagging because I feel like when you do tag Donald Trump, it's just going to bring more attention. Now you got the chatter. I want the chit-chatter because that's going to turn 20% into 30% into 40% increase in your sales, all off of monetizing what they have been doing to us, like you said, since the beginning of time. So I'm kind of with it.
Yeah, I feel you on that. The only thing about the tagging is now I am bigging you up to our black community. And you ain't bigging us up. So I'm not finna go that route with you, Big T. But I will say whoever threw
Big
that
T?
thing in front, Big T.
Oh, I'm calling them big. Well, it was a big inflatable. It was a big inflatable, by
But listen, y'all, Cheyenne Bryant, a CEO and creative director for Roscoe's, further fueled the controversy by defending the placement of the doll outside the restaurant in an IG comment saying, I quote, "And Trump still won. Sit with the numbers. The conversation is different." See, go ahead, Willie.
Here's the thing. No matter what we say or no matter what we do, the numbers spoke for themselves.
Straight up.
African-American people voted for Trump. And so we don't have to pretend anymore because he already won. So honestly, you know, I do it for debate, for TV, but the truth is at the end of the day, he's our president. Not only will he have an inflatable, he'll have a beautiful picture in some people's houses. People of African-American descent. So at the end of the day, if it's bringing in business, he's the biggest juggernaut for attention in the world.
Well, you know, as a defense to our people, black people didn't vote him in. Let me tell you, it was like 80% of black women voted for Kamala, and black men came out in numbers for Kamala. Who voted him in were the Hispanics and the Latins, who he is trying to deport and get out of the country. They brought him in. That was the women were 92%, right? Was it 92% I think that voted for Kamala?
92% voted for Kamala.
We didn't put Big T in office. But again, if Big T comes next to our store and we can run some plays that monetizes our community, even like Ryan said, they've been doing it. They didn't put liquor stores, CBD stores,
I know
chicken,
Bitcoin
fast
went up.
foods, fast food restaurants on almost every corner because they're running plays that get them in the bag. So if we can run plays again and mobilize our community to get the bag with our white allies, that's how you build wealth in our community. We can't do it with 13.4% of black people in this world. There's not enough of us. If all of us got together and supported black business, it's not enough of us.
Well, up next, we got Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and our guest co-host, Dr. Sarah Fontenot, ready to weigh in on this whole idea of top-tier woman, high-functioning woman, low-brow man, hydrogen man, you know, hybrid man, all this stuff. They done all made it up. All of it's made up on the internet. Ain't none of this scientific. True Talk is coming back with top-tier truth or trend and top of the trend of tier. All this stuff. They both make up all this stuff. Ain't this stuff real? None of it. None of it's real.
I know Bitcoin went up.
It sure did.
It sure did.
After Big T got it.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
And we are back on True Talks. One of the hottest and most controversial topics swirling online and in our communities got everybody talking about high and low functioning women, but what does that even mean? I mean, is it just another catchy phrase, or does it actually hold any weight in real life? Joining us to unpack this is our special guest, co-host, Dr. Sarah Fontenot. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. We're about to get real.
Woo! Now, you both have different definitions of top tier or high functioning women, and I've seen you both use it in different ways. First, let's take a look at my sister, Dr. B.
What identifies a woman to be high functioning?
A high functioning woman is a woman who wants you. She doesn't need you. And let me clear that up. When I say she doesn't need you, it doesn't mean she's independent. That means she is interdependent. I only not need you because my pain doesn't need your pain. My dysfunction doesn't need your dysfunction to feed it for us to be in this relationship, meaning I don't need a trauma bond with you, okay? She wants you because she wants the healed part of you, but has the capacity, because we're all human, we ain't perfect, to facilitate and deal with the unhealed part of you that's gonna show up in the relationship at some point. And hers is gonna show up too, mine is gonna show up too. And so that's why I always say, I want a hybrid. I want a hybrid for y'all out there who wanna know, meaning a man who's high functioning enough to meet my healthy high functioning, but low functioning enough to deal with me when my abandonment inflames, to deal with me when some of my dysfunctions that I'm still working on inflame. Because if he's too high functioning, guess what? He doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with the low functioning part, which then means he can only connect with folks who are not being fully authentic within themselves.
Wow. Shout out to Dr. B. When that finger starts to do this, I know she's in her bag. All right? Now let's take a look at my sister Sarah Fontenot's mention of it right here.
Women that come to my platform want high value, high earning, masculine men. You cannot be a hoe, number one. You cannot dress a certain way. That's another thing. Women try to say, oh, he's controlling me because he doesn't want me to wear XYZ. No, you should respect that man enough not to put him in danger, realistically speaking, because if you're too sexy and another man steps you, what now he's gotta say something? And if he doesn't say something, now he's not a man? You don't want no high-value masculine man because now you're putting them in danger, and that's the problem. Girls are twisted out here. It's delusion. It's giving delusion.
The Lululemon.
Yes.
I'm with you.
And when Dr. Sarah Fontenot does crisscross with her hands, let me tell you something. She mean business. Now, ladies, both of you are here. One of you, give me a clean definition of high-functioning women.
Okay, I'm gonna go first because I coined high functioning, low functioning, and high value. I coined that on Nick Cannon's show. And I had trademarked it and coined it years before that. I just happened to say it on Nick's show and it went viral and blew up. And then all of the blogs and everyone start using high functioning, low functioning, and using my rubric to measure whether somebody was high functioning, low functioning, or high valued. And then I'll let Sarah explain what her take is on it. For me, the functionality that I'm talking about is how well do you function relationally within yourself and in a relationship with the person. Meaning, high functioning is just a person who says, I can identify my emotion, before I get into my feelings, because feelings cause problems, emotions don't. So I can identify how I feel. I feel angry. Okay, I can process before I produce. Let me process what anger looks like before I produce a reaction that does not provide a resolve, because high-functioning people think and speak to provide resolve. Low-functioning people react to create more impairment and more problem to the already existing problem.
Got it.
I think that's really strong. And I think for me, you know, it's hard because we hear these catchphrases like gaslighting, narcissist, high functioning, low functioning. We hear all of these words, and ultimately I think what's most important is for each person to get clear with the people they are in relationship with, that are we all on the same boat of what they do mean? Because I think that's a really powerful way to look at high functioning. And I also think for me, I use more high value, high earning than I do functioning. Because functioning in essence is something that you do. Value in essence is something that you are. And so a value is a value system. It's character, it's integrity, it's the barometer in which you check yourself, and then the function, when you act that thing out, that's where you're going from that space. So I completely understand and agree with you in, as far as like how high functioning looks that way, low functioning looks this way. But ultimately, I think what's most important is for people to understand inside of their environment, is everyone clear on the way that we're going with it, on the way that it means, on the actual intention of it.
I hear what you're saying, and just to add to that, people need to be clear on where they are in their functionality, and where the people around them are in their functionality, and how does that collective function. That's why I said it's important to be a hybrid, because none of us are functioning at a high level all the time. That's called dehumanized. All of us have low functioning moments, and if we are too high functioning, that means that we are too much in our arrogance, and we're transactional, and relationships have no place for transaction. The boardroom is transactional. Relationships is where I'm connected with my functionality. That's where my trauma will show up.
Okay, just 2 seconds. 2 seconds, lady. Now, let me tell y'all something. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, actually Berkeley, Missouri, $17,000. Went to the University of Mississippi, but I majored in Kappa Alpha Psi.
Hey!
Come on,
So I want you to just really, ladies, I want you to break it down, because right now on the other side of this camera, there are ladies who are saying, am I high functioning? Am I have value? Like, because they're doing what they have to do. They went to school. They have a job. They're doing what they're supposed to do, and their relationships aren't being successful. So can we just break it down so the normal lady can just understand?
Yes, and first and foremost, I just want to say this as a disclaimer. We all have value. Because I think that sometimes people are like, oh, I'm high value, and automatically that means, oh, I'm the best person out here and you're different. And that's not what we're saying at all. It's almost like, and this is probably a terrible analogy, but I'm going to give it.
Talk your talk.
If we look at diamonds, right? There is the VVS1 perfectly cut, flawless diamond, and then there's the diamonds that you break into little pieces and it fills other jewelry.
Diamond K or diamond N.
Period. So inside of that, with those two things, both are valuable, both are necessary, but they're used for different things. And so whenever I talk about high value or high function, I think what's most important for the women that are listening at home to think and say to yourself, what is it that I want? What is it that I want from my girlfriends? What is it that I want from my partner? What is it that I want from my kids? And when you're looking at it in that space of this is who and how I want to be, you get to define your value. Because value is also subjective. Some people might look at us and be like, yo, they too much work. I couldn't, they ain't valuable to me. That's nothing but a headache. And to someone else, they're like, oh, this is a powerhouse partner. This is someone I could build with, I could live with, I could grow with. And so
I want to talk about, because I see it floating around on social media.
Yes.
I mean, since the days of Kevin Samuels. But is it in the DSM-5? And is it dangerous to be giving out?
Yes, it is.
To be giving out advice based on catchphrases?
First of all, yes, it is in the DSM-5. And for those of you who don't know what DSM-5 stands for, it's the Diagnostic Statistical Manual that therapists, psychologists, and psychiatrists use to diagnose their patients. Now, I did that for the first 4 years of my career when I was a marriage, family, and child therapist. I no longer diagnose. Where it talks about it is from a social and occupational level of functioning. So it's in the DSM. There's no diagnosis for high functioning or low functioning, but it talks about the functionality of a person. That rubric of how somebody functions is how they diagnose if you are far this way functioning on the spectrum or far this way functioning on the spectrum. So to break it down a little easier is...
Yeah, because this is a very junction. What's your function? I don't know. So I need you to give it to me.
Let me go easy. Functionality is how well can you regulate your emotions?
Right.
Period. How well can you regulate your emotions so you're creating resolve and you're in your high emotional intelligence. So high functioning is I'm just being emotionally intelligent. I know how to function there.
Right.
But this is what it is. It's what were you going to say, Will?
I was gonna ask something that was probably like a little off.
Go ahead.
But like, do you have your stuff together or don't you have your stuff together? Like, just break it down. Like, so I understand, like, it's in the DSM-5, you have functioning here, you have functioning there. The only issue that I see now is that people who ain't never been in the DSM-5 is starting to say, well, no, he's high functioning and he high value. And it's becoming an excuse for people to commit and submit to relationships because they think they high value.
No, I have to say it.
High function doesn't mean you're superior to anybody. That's not what it means.
Okay, so all I'm saying is inside of the functionality, so like she said, it's not in there, but you could infer that it's in there. And what that means is there's a spectrum of how we all behave.
Of course.
Right? Are you ratchet and knuck if you buck, or are you classy? That's really all it comes down to. And where do you lie on the spectrum? It's almost like masculinity and femininity. We all have each, right? Masculinity and femininity, they are not genders, they are energies, and we all have both. Masculinity is certain, it's decisive, it's strong, it's let's do it, it's get it done, it's achievement. Femininity is flow, it's cooing, it's nurturing, it's let me raise this up.
I like the way your voice changed.
Thank you.
It's nurturing.
I'm a feminine woman, you know?
Yeah.
So I say that to say we all have both, but where are you at on the spectrum? And so when you read, David Data has an amazing book called The Way of the Superior Man.
Yes, that's my favorite
love
book.
that book.
It's an amazing, every woman and man should read that.
You was reading it too?
I'm an avid reader, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be in the Me Too movement.
So
Wait, before y'all go on, I want to say.
No, wait, let me finish this point. Let me bring this home.
But you could be ratchet.
You
You could be ratchet and still be high functioning. Because I want to say this. You could be ratchet and still be high functioning. Functioning is not about a ratchetness or not a ratchetness. Ratchet gives a very derogatory.
The response of it, though.
But no. A person can be ratchet and be high functioning. How you function has nothing to do with if you're ratchet, if you're hood, or if you're not. A functionality is how well do you regulate your emotions.
Exactly, and I agree with that. So if you are traumatized, right? Let's say that you are triggered all the time because you haven't taken the time to resolve your trauma.
Yes.
This is a response. Oftentimes what we label as ratchet or knuck if you buck or whatever it is, it's because those are the way those women are behaving. It's not a look. It's not an essence. It's not an energy.
But let me ask you this.
No, let me finish. It's how they finish. No, Dr. B, let me finish. You don't ever let me finish.
Them ratchet? I'm asking the question.
No, you can't ask the question because I didn't
know. But you're generalizing.
We got company.
I know, but she's generalizing. You can't generalize and say
you're generalizing by saying that.
Who is calling somebody ratchet for having a trauma response?
It's all subjective, right? And this is the thing that we all have to have this conversation, and it goes back to the spectrum of things, and it also goes back to your environment. The DSM-5 does not have you are high functioning, you are low functioning.
But it has functioning in it, 100%.
Yes, it does have functioning, but it is a spectrum. And inside of the spectrum, you get to see where do you lie. And that's only something that you can figure out through your own life experience and the mirroring back from people and the responses that you're getting. Everything else is just subjective. There's no way to say, oh, you are high functioning, because to somebody else, you're low functioning.
So, ladies.
I mean, in the way that you're saying it, yes.
Because we got to move forward. We got to move forward, okay? Yeah. So the question becomes, do men and women define it differently?
Yes.
So listen, I want you to just take a look. Take a look at this.
Okay.
A high-value woman, by contrast, she's appealing and attractive. She has a comforting character. Her character, a high-value woman, is comforting in her character. She's not going to shame you, insult you, or guilt you. She's going to lift and build people up. She's enthusiastic and exuberant about things. She's, like I said, she's liberating. Low-value women are the opposite. They are burdensome. A high-value woman is a feminine asset. A low-value woman is a liability.
The great and powerful Samuels spoke.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
He's describing the noun version of value. I describe the verb version of value. The noun is a people, person, and how he described it, their value system. I describe it as the verb, which is your earnings. What do you earn for me? So when I say high value man, that means he's powerful, he makes a lot of money. But if he's low functioning, his functionality isn't allowing him to be in a relationship in a healthy space. He's causing impairment, and his emotional intelligence is low. So you could be high value and low functioning, or you can also be high value, like my merch says, and high functioning. It just depends.
What are your thoughts?
I think, these internet psychiatrists and internet, Instagram people, they're catering, it's an echo chamber.
Yeah.
They're catering to the sheeple. And people are going to this because they want to be agreed with. I think, as a person who has gone through a lot of therapy and my therapist said, Ryan, the things that you were doing is like you had a broken antenna. Right? And so you could not see the things and you were deflecting. And once we started to work on that and your antenna started to become straight, you could see things that was coming. My question is because it's hysterical, is historical. Because when people start acting crazy, you be like, damn, why she go off like that? It's because something that happened to her back in the day. So how practical is the whole labeling of women in the first place?
So
do you think the
don't.
idea alienates certain groups of women, like single moms? I'm a struggling single mom, I'm a career-focused woman, I'm LGBTQ, or those who fit conventional beauty and income standards? What you think?
I personally think that labeling is a way that the world tries to tell you who you are. And I think in a world where everybody tries to tell you who you are, it's really important for you to know for yourself. And I think that oftentimes we get so caught up in this person said this person has this bias, this person XYZ, and none of that ultimately matters. What matters most is you have to ask yourself, what do I want? And that's what I talk about a lot on my platform. I talk to the woman that either is, wants to be, or wants to enhance her high-value feminine energy so that she can attract a high-value, high-earning, masculine man. Now, if that's what you want, there are certain things that you have to be inside of. There's a certain way that you have to be in order to attract that thing. If that's not what you want, then do whatever works for you. So go ahead.
So here's the thing. The value and the high value and the dysfunction and the low function, watching people who don't necessarily understand it at all begin to put labels on their husbands and their mates. I've seen people who have been married for 40 years. I look at the great Joyce Myers. I had the esteemed privilege to work for her ministry for 4 or 5 years. And Joyce is a strong woman. You can't go out to lunch. If you married, it got to be 2 of y'all. Like, she has some strong rules. Dave, her husband, is literally not the masculine man. He would rather play golf. He would let her do all of that. But he has a tone. When he says, Joyce, she knows that it's time to calm down. And so when do we get the opportunity to say, my purpose is more important than, you know, kind of what I value? Like, 'cause sometimes people just do it for the look. And when you're doing it for the look, you don't get the opportunity to really fulfill purpose, in my personal opinion. Ryan?
100%.
So, you know, we've only scratched the surface, and as you see, the knives are out.
Never that.
When we get back, see, I didn't say you.
You didn't say nothing.
You jumped up. You jumped up and jumped up. When we get back,
No, I'm trying to defend both of us.
See, all I said was knives was out. They, you're not me. When we ask if this high functioning talk, is it just helping or is it hurting relationships? And why these labels seem to spark so much drama when we come back on Truth Talks?
You my.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
And we're back on Truth Talks, and we're talking about today's high-functioning woman. So, Dr. Sarah, what do you think about this?
Oh, goodness gracious. I think that high functioning is great, and there are all of these terms. And there's also another term that's really trending right now, which is the modern woman, right? And I think that it's really important to differentiate the difference between, obviously, we're in modern days, so if you're a woman, you are a modern woman. But I'm talking about the clickbaiting catchphrase of modern woman. And, you know, in these ideas, like in this day, the modern woman and these ideas about sexual freedom are cheapening the dating experience. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, but it almost seems like, for me, and maybe I'm a little extra in saying this, but it seems like Instagram baddies, or, you know, the different terms these modern day women are entitled, and it's cheapened into a prostitution experience. I will give you my body because you brought me to Nobu. I will give you my body because you sent me to get my nails done. I will give you my body because of XYZ, instead of it being, okay, I'm actually looking for partnership in life. Because those that have traditional values around their relationship are looking for, who can I build with, and why would I want to build with them, and what are we going to build, as opposed to the dating experience now of, what can I get from you? Especially with the modern day woman. How much money are you gonna send me? How many things are you gonna buy me? How many experiences are you gonna give me? I need to go on a trip. I need a Birkin bag. I need Chanel shoes. And my real issue with that, because I believe get it how you live it. If that's what you want to do you, boo. However, stop putting it on Instagram like you're this serial entrepreneur, successful boss babe, when really what you're doing is you're not taking picture of the man that's sweating all over you that you don't like. And that's my issue. Little girls are now fetishizing and glamorizing what they don't know is prostitution.
Yeah, I think, you know, the women of today have saved men a lot of money. Because, you know, back in the day, it was a fishing trip to Brazil. It was a fishing trip to the Dominican Republic, and now all these men can do is stay at home. I remember one of my friends said to me, he said, you know, he said, man, you go to DR and they'll stay with you the whole week. And they'll cook for you, and they'll clean for you, and you know, and they'll kiss you in the mouth, and it's only $30.
And that's low
and I was
functioning
like,
as HEL.
But that's what they were going for. So now they ain't got to do all that.
Because he's low functioning too.
And that's the thing too. I think that a lot of people aren't thinking about how the modern woman experience is making it where you'll never be a wife. And not to say that that's the goal, because the goal is not marriage. The goal is alignment, purpose, like God. You know, the things that matter. However, if you get to a space where all you're doing is going after a man for what he can give you, you might have him for a week. You might have him for a month. You might have him for 6 months, but he will never wife you. Because one thing about high value is exclusivity. And if anybody could have it, why would somebody want it?
I've seen men. So it's a young lady that I interviewed, and she was a former prostitute. And she has now shifted her life, and she's done a lot. We had a conversation, and she said, I think men should date women who are in the adult industry. Because we get a chance to talk to so many different men, and we hear everything that their woman is not doing. So I want a hell of a wife now, even though she married older. So, you know, in my rightful opinion, I think everybody has the opportunity to change and transform their life. So I don't want to omit somebody because of the season that they're in. The only issue that I also have is that the internet is unforgiving, and it's never erased. But I do understand that change can change for anybody.
But I do want to say something.
Well, so here go the thing about me.
Right. I'm just saying.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I'm not sure, but it would have to be a total change. Like, I believe we all have a past. We just don't have to be prisoners to it. So I wouldn't hold her as a prisoner of her past if now she's ministering and doing what she's supposed to do.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't see that for you.
But half of these men don't know what they women done in college.
That's right.
Like, when I go back to the college reunion, I'm like, you married her? She wasn't no prostitute, but she was at the front house.
Say this. I always say this: men marry hoes all the time. So that's irrelevant. But what I do want to say to your point is, you made a good point when you said when they're trying to see what they can get from this man, as far as eating or a jet or a Birkin bag, and that's their main drive. That they're now positioning themselves to not be a wife. They're positioning themselves to not get married because the principles in marriage are not in that.
Right.
And so when you're leading with that, you also lead with what you find most valuable. So you find a man who gives you those things, and if he's paying for those things, he's also leading with what he finds most valuable, which is his money. When you have two people whose value is only high value, no functionality, no principles, no God, you don't go down the road to marriage. You go down the road to destruction. And so you have no platform or no nucleus to stand on.
So do you see that with, as both of you on your platforms, it seems to me that the men who have no communication skills, They have no way to register with these women because they don't have any things in common. They don't have anything that they can talk about. So instead of saying, hey, let me talk to you, like back in the day when we was in college, you know, we ain't had no money, but we sure had game. You know, we could have that game. But it seems like now, because if they don't have that, the first thing they do is throw the money at it.
Yes. But the only issue I have with that also is that once you throw the money and you actually start to have feelings, now you want to change what she wearing.
Ooh. You're right, Willie. No,
it was like, no, that's how you that's how you came in.
So
but here's
true.
the thing. Pride is gonna make an excuse, but humility gonna make an adjustment. I told a guy, I said, man, you know what you had when you got her. He said, but I love her now. I wasn't expecting love, right? And I said, well, you have to have a real vulnerable conversation, because a lot of times you let pride come in and you like, no, you can't wear this, you can't wear that. You gotta be able to say, babe, you know what? That's mine now.
Yeah, and that
I
goes
don't
for
want
women
everybody
too.
to
As
see
women get in their feelings and they get past the Birkin bags,
Yeah.
they now want time, commitment, and a faithful man. But a man who's leading only with his money and honey, baby, don't have that to give you. He's giving you exactly what you wanted, which is just a good time. So don't gaslight him. Enjoy the time and make a good experience from it, and then circle the block and find someone who's in alignment with what you really want.
Indeed. So what are the dangers in slinging them around so freely for the average person to share across platforms? Take a look at one of these crazy dangers.
Black women have been conditioned to, I say this all the time, right? Take a hitting, take a licking, and keep on ticking, right? And that's the problem. Because you don't look like you're depressed, because you're still functioning, because Black women oftentimes have not had the luxury to let shit fall by the wayside. We have not had the pleasure of letting our lives fall apart.
Wow, wow. Dr. Sarah, what are your thoughts?
Man, from personal experience, I just had this conversation the other day. 2023 was one of the hardest years of my life. And one of the things I say is like, I was built for this. Like, I don't know how to not power through. All I know is, just transparently speaking, it doesn't matter who's sick, it doesn't matter if the money's funny, if my spirit is in question, like, all I know is power through. And I always just say to myself, I have these mantras that I say to my life, like, if there's light at the end of the tunnel, don't you dare sit and chill in the dark. And so I hold on to that. I was built for this, I was built for this, I was built for this. All things are happening for my good, even the bad. But it's true, we don't have that luxury. A lot of times, Black women, we do have to be tough and strong and make it happen, but it also takes away a part of humanity. It dehumanizes us in a crazy way, because now it's like perform, perform, perform instead of feel.
But to your point, if Black women are mostly, because I don't believe in generalizing, are mostly experiencing this, and it's probably more like all than most, then that means that it's a time for us to have empathy and not sympathy for each other. Empathy and sympathy are two different things. Empathy is like, sis, I get you, I feel it. Sympathy is, damn, I'm sorry, it's you, I can't relate. Empathy means I should be able to help deliver you and not dismiss you. I should help be your refuge. I should not sit up here and compete. I should collaborate. That means that we have emotional intelligence. We can disagree on things and still say, sis, I'm gonna tee you up. So if we know that we cannot have our back tilted, we always gotta be straight and narrow. There should be some times when I say, sis, go on and tilt, I got you for a minute. And you do that with me as well. And so that's why I think it's important. But it is, again, a Black community issue and a Black woman issue where we gotta have each other's back a lot more.
Wow, so you two, I'll be honest, are beautiful, highly educated, fearless, and well-spoken. But there's millions of women who don't fit that model. Doesn't this feel like an elitist type of situation? Like when younger women, especially like, are modeling themselves, like, you know, no disrespect, my sister Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red representing St. Louis, and so many others. Why are women not using you two as a role model? Why isn't it marketing plans around your education versus the narrative that's being pushed? Is this what they want to give the next generation?
I'm gonna make it quick and easy. I have 2 million plus followers. I have a wait list of 200 plus clients. I'm on a speaking tour every single weekend in different states and cities. To me, that is a whole entourage of women who are following me as a role model. That's a whole entourage of women who are looking for me to be their advocate. So I don't see where they're not following women like her and I. I think that's just another false narrative that they can take and shove up their ass.
Okay, so we got more when we come back, because if they are so empowering, why do so many people walk away feeling judged or inadequate? You can look in the comments on social media and see the bad reactions to this whole entire labeling conversation. We'll come back with more on Truth Talks.
I'm hot, y'all.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
And we are back now. You can go to the comments of YouTube and Foxhole and talk about high functioning, low functioning. We want to hear what you got to say. Now, we couldn't call this show True Talks if we weren't candid with our relationship advice. So it's time for Hit It or Quit It.
Ooh-wee. Now, we've asked viewers to hit us in the DM with their question. And honestly, many people scared to ask these questions at the kitchen table. So check this out, what this anonymous Truth Avenger wrote. It said, my professor in my history class is fine like a ticket on a dash. I don't know what that means, but he might be doing something right, okay? Said, I look forward to seeing him in class every single day. He's only 10 years older than me. And the other day, I caught him looking at my legs, child. I wore a little mini skirt on purpose, and it worked. Baby, I'm willing to risk it all.
Oh my God.
So should I shoot my shot? Let me just start off by telling you, baby, shoot! Woo! Shoot!
Basket.
Shoot!
Basket.
You're going to be first.
No, I don't.
I'm going to be second. Let me tell you, you are also going to be the next in the line of professors that he's gone horizontal with.
No.
Because, listen, man, how many relationships have you heard about the people in grad school, and the next thing you know, it goes to the next level? Now, you getting all feeling that you got them hormones from hell. What you need to do is get your damn schoolwork and get your ass up out that college.
That's what I'm saying. Don't shoot your shot. You want that man to lose his job? Like she's willing to risk it all, but is he willing to risk it? Is he willing to risk it? She'll get an A and he'll be fired. He'll be in cell. Nah.
I mean, at the end of the day, my dear brother Bishop Bryant, his dad and mom, they met something like that. They've been married forever. He was 15 years older than her.
That was Bible college. That was
Bible college. So it depends on what college it is, evidently.
That's even worse.
Can you call us back and let us know what college it is? Because I guess if it's an HBCU, you can't find love.
This is what I'm gonna say, because you can be in college and be underage. So if you're both, if you're of age and you feel the chemistry, I say go for it. But I do want to say this, because it's really up to him to make the right decision and not create a decision that will cause a conflict of interest at work. To Sarah's point, he could lose his job. But if you want to go for it and he wants to fall for it, then that's the risk he's taking it, because you ain't risking nothing. He is.
What's he falling for?
I want to know if it is a computer science class.
Oh,
because
why?
if he's putting his hardware into her software, you're going to have a floppy disk situation going on. And if you're not careful, you might get a damn virus. So I think we need to take all that into account.
I think you guys really are missing this beautiful point. Like, I'm a story guy. I think I'm still a sucker for love. We met in college. He was my professor. No. It sounds like another love story.
Not to me.
Not to you?
It sounds like proximity.
I'm a best
You didn't feel that?
No, not at all.
Damn it, man.
You know, I was gonna call you a word, but I'm gonna fall back.
Don't do it. Leave him alone.
Sometimes our environment puts us in trouble too. Sometimes our proximity has power over us instead of us having power over our proximity. Meaning, because she sees that man and may not see other handsome, good options, like maybe she's not putting herself out there, she may think this is all there is to get, and that's just, you know, get outside, girl.
Listen, I've had professors very attracted to me in college.
No, she attracted to him. You could. Nobody was attracted to you in
I can't
college.
do no right. They just pick on me. I did not date. I went to lunch with the professor to discuss a grade and to discuss graduation, and he tried to make his pass, and I said absolutely not. But I also was engaged at that time.
Hey, listen, that's all the time we have for tonight. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials and right here on Fox Soul, YouTube. Good night. We'll see y'all later.
Good night, y'all.
All right, Sarah. All right, then. All right, you did the damn thing.